Robotic technologies are an emerging field of innovation for motor impairment rehabilitation. In this video, we'll explore more about their roles and applications. Imagine you are waking up in the morning. You have a routine to follow. Turn off your alarm clock, brush your teeth, walk downstairs to make breakfast. Seems easy, right? However, for many individuals who have motor impairments, these tasks can be very challenging for them. People living with multiple sclerosis, after a stroke, or any nervous system disorder have a difficult time moving around, coordinating their body and/or balancing normally. This causes motor pathways, such as those in the spinal cord, to be compromised. So while somebody without motor impairments can complete a series of complex movements that can be adapted to different life situations, those with impairments may not be able to. Introducing medical robotics. The idea to use robotics for clinical use had been hypothesized back in 1967, but it wasn't until a decade later that the first commercial systems were implemented in hospitals. Now there are many applications that robotics are used in, for surgical processes, telecommunication for patient interaction, dispensing pharmaceuticals, physical rehabilitation, and more. Now, while there's a lot of applications of robotics in medicine, in this video, we will be focusing on its use for rehabilitation processes. Rehabilitation was researched and applied to stroke patients at the University of Calgary's kinesiology faculty. Dr. Tyler Clough studied how people learn motor skills through brain circuitry. The robotic device, called the KinArm, is an exoskeleton used on patients to collect information on how the brain learns motor skills. 150 healthy individuals and 150 individuals recovering from a stroke were tested on completing motor tasks such as hitting balls. After introducing errors, the exoskeleton measured how fast and well the person responded to the challenges. Researchers were able to create a profile of the brain to understand what healthy behavior looked like. On the other hand, stroke patients could be flagged for impairment and discover which parts of their brain were damaged. This clinical trial is the beginning to help researchers develop personalized strategies for rehabilitating patients. There are also other robotic exoskeletons in use to rehabilitate in different contexts. In patients with multiple sclerosis, their central nervous system, including the brain and spinal cord, are affected. Common symptoms include difficulty walking, irregular gait, and fatigue. In some cases, patients must relearn the motor skills required to walk. REAER, otherwise known as Robotic Exoskeleton Assisted Exercise Rehabilitation, have been used in close engagement of a therapist to help patients build conventional gait patterns. The brain activity patterns were also monitored using an MRI at the Neuroimaging Center to connect the dots between functional mobility, walking endurance, cognitive processing speed, and brain connectivity. There is also another study noting that there is an improvement in robotic treatment when combined with virtual reality to give visual feedback of body movements. This is important when it comes to planning and managing daily life activities. So you may be wondering, why robotics for rehabilitation? What advantages does it have to treat patients? The first benefit of robotics is that it is programmed by researchers to maximize the benefits of rehabilitation. This can vary in intensity, mode, and duration. Studies have found that there are individual differences in motor skill learning and control, thus tailoring healthcare approaches to acquire the skills are important. The second benefit is that robotics can be suited for a wide range of rehabilitation training. One example, the lower limb rehabilitation robot A3, has a computer control system and gait correction orthosis that can help fix gait, strengthen the muscle memory with repeated trials, and understanding weight support for balance. By training the related muscles and joints together, lower limb dysfunction rehabilitation is much more effective. With that being said, there are still limitations to rehabilitation using robotics. While there are positive implications of robotics to assist for human disability, it is also unclear how well it can be integrated into healthcare systems on a large level. One challenge is getting patients to adapt to this technology. Although most systems are non-invasive, it can still be a burden to use for therapy. This is being addressed by finding sustainable materials and low-power electronics to increase comfort and user acceptance to patients. Another limitation is that for some rehabilitation procedures, these technologies can be quite expensive. The high economic costs may inhibit accessibility to the public, especially for chronic care patients and the elderly. Political leaders and healthcare workers are working together to address this challenge of fully understanding the cost-effectiveness ratio of robotics and how to make this treatment sustainable over time. Overall, robotics for medical rehabilitation has many benefits when used in an evidence-based way to provide treatment for patients with motor impairments. It can provide highly repetitive and intensive treatment that is not possible with human care. It can also be combined with other treatments to target different impairments in the body, such as a neural disorder causing imbalance, weakness in muscles, or through a functional approach with virtual reality. Finally, an individualized approach can be taken with this technology. As researchers and clinicians are understanding more about the brain, such as its neuroplasticity to learn, or in the case of some patients, relearn motor tasks, different methods can be implemented to maximize the patient's recovery according to their own needs. It is important to note that this field is interdisciplinary, so multiple healthcare professionals of different backgrounds may be needed to be involved with developing a treatment plan for patients. So, where does this leave us for the future? There's still a lot more research to be explored on rehabilitation of patients' motor skills using robotic devices. There is great potential to increase the efficiency for patients to reach their performance goals after consistent training. While the applications for operation are broad, there are still limitations to both the users and healthcare professionals to make this technology more accessible. There are significant research efforts being made to adapt other low-cost systems for rehabilitation. Before, robotics in medicine is an interdisciplinary field. This was also seen in the University of Calgary's approach. The project was led with a psychiatrist, medical director of a stroke rehabilitation program, and researchers in engineering and biomedical sciences. Future innovations will require a team-based approach for growth in this field for patient care. We hope this video provided you with some insight into the current and emerging applications of robotic technologies for rehabilitation in motor impaired patients. Thank you for watching.